For this next video, I would like to share with you a little bit more about what these classes are in ninth grade and give you a better understanding of some sample projects, just to allow you to have a better understanding of what this might look like and feel like if a student is part of Jasper next year. For this first project, I would like to introduce the Jasper GSI, which is Global Science Inquiry, pizza project that we did this past year. The Jasper GSI Pizza project was all about pizza and eating sustainably. The goal was to design a pizza recipe that highlights a problem or a solution related to eating sustainably. And the students had flexibility to make it as broad or as specific as they wanted. They could work alone or with another partner. And all students had the opportunity to make pizzas at home individually first before the final day where they made the pizzas and then presented it to a panel of judges. They were graded based on content and also skills. So they were graded based on their actual explanation of the theme in their recipe, the verbal pitch where they got to explain the theme of their pizza, and then skills including their ability to be a researcher, a flexible and creative thinker, their written communication, and their verbal communication. Another example of a really neat cross-curricular project is our candle project that we do in ninth grade. What's neat about this project is that there are elements of science class, design and development, and English, all part of this one project. In science class, what the students do is they research sustainable waxes. So when you burn a candle at home, what goes into the air? What are the waxes? Like what kind of wax do candle makers use when creating candles for the home? So our students will do more research in that, but then we're going to go one step further. We're not just going to determine that soy or beeswax might be the best way. The students are going to actually make a candle. And in design and development class, they're going to learn how to use Adobe Illustrator to create their first logo. They're going to learn how to do branding. And this is a neat skill. So even if students aren't going to be a professional candle maker in their future, they're going to learn how to make a logo and do something for other people. They're going to learn the engineering process. They're going to learn how to get feedback and then make a design better. And so that's a really neat skill that the students are going to be able to take with them. And then ultimately in English class, they're going to write a letter introducing themselves and their candle brand to the owner of a local store, FD Market, who we partnered with in the last few years. And the students introduce them to the owner, and she then reads the letters and picks candles that she might want to sell in her store. And the reason we do that is because the owner of FD Market said that that's how people who have products that want to be sold in their store, that's how they reach out to her. So we're doing something in a really authentic, real world way. So we have 3 different courses kind of coming together at different points in time to create this one candle project, which is really fun and exciting. We've also done some different, neat things with the candle project. We designed the Mean Girls Junior candles for their fundraising in the 2023-2024 school year. We also sell some of our candles. So there's a lot of neat things that we can do with this one. This is one of those really fun projects that students remember for quite some time. Another example that I would like to highlight to all of you is what our biology field trip, and this is in 10th grade, but I want to just show you like what it looks like when our kids go on a field trip and are in the field. So for our biology class, what they did is they went to Graver Arboretum and they partnered with Muhlenberg College to do some data collection for them for a big research project that they're doing. So our students went into the different freshwater ponds and they're taking samples. You can see a student right there taking a sample, and they are going to put them in these buckets, and then eventually they're going to sort through these buckets and look for the different critters that are in the water there. And they're ultimately answering the question, what effect does water runoff have on the ecosystem in the different freshwater ponds? And then they bring these critters back to the lab at Emmaus High School. They're looking at them under the microscope. And even though this field trip was months ago, these students are still doing things with this field trip today. They're making food webs based on all of the organisms in the freshwater pond. So not only are field trips ways for students to get out of the building and into the community, but there are ways that we can capitalize on those field trips and make them part of our learning experience back at the high school. So I mentioned some of these classes in the projects, and maybe this is confusing. So now allow me to go backwards. We have 4 courses in the 9th grade year, and the science class is called Global Science Inquiry, or GSI. And this class is focused entirely on sustainability, more environmental science. In 8th grade, our students are doing a lot of earth science, and in 9th grade, GSI allows them to go into much more detail, not so much the earth systems, but more environmental and sustainability focused. We have 4 main projects. The pizza project is key. We have the candle project project, which I've mentioned both of those. But in the springtime, or like winter and spring, the second semester, we do a big climate change project. Our students last year, and we're going to do it again this year, they went to a climate change symposium for students over in Easton, and that's something that we would definitely like to continue doing, where students are a little bit more engaged in the climate change process. And then we've done projects at local parks like Kalmbach. We've done ecology parks, and that is something that the teacher always like to change up a little bit. In design and development, this class is really all about the engineering process. And this is where students learn that failing is okay, that you're going to do something, you're going to get feedback, you're going to make it better. So they're constantly making revisions. It's a really neat class. It's a tech ed class. This counts as their STEM requirement for graduation purposes. And this is, to me, like this is the foundation of Jasper. This is where you learn project management, product development, how to work with other people, how to fail, how to improve, how to get feedback. And so just some examples that you can see here on the screen. Top right, those are the candles, which I've already mentioned. Bottom right, we have a wind tunnel, so our students do some engineering challenges like a classic spaghetti tower as well. Students are also on the computer. Not only are they learning Adobe Illustrator, but they're learning how to do some design so that they can ultimately 3D print. So they created these puzzle cubes, which is a challenge for kids. And they leave this class usually feeling a lot more comfortable when it comes to their abilities to work with some really cool technologies. And then that picture in the top left-hand corner might seem kind of random, but students are also engaging with augmented and virtual reality technologies. That is certainly a thing that is going to be part of everyone's reality in the future. And we introduce the students to this type of technology through a collaboration with JuxtaHub and the different businesses in Emmaus for the Winter Snow Blast Festival. So we partner, our kids are assigned to a different business, and they have created augmented reality exhibits for the Snow Blast Festival for people to go up to that store on the day of. They scan a QR code, and up pops this experience in an augmented reality world. So just a way for our kids to collaborate with local businesses, but also learn some technology skills at the same time. In our humanities classes in English 9 and American Studies 1, we have a lot of different projects, and some of them are listed here. And a lot of these projects, there is a lot of student choice and different ways for students to go ahead and showcase their learning. But you can see a lot of writing assignments in our ninth grade year. I already mentioned that persuasive writing, that letter to the owner of FD Market, but there's also different stories and narratives. There's Letter to the Future Me. There's a story that the students wrote about living in someone else's shoes. So a lot of different options. There's some upcoming podcasting and citizenship projects. And in American Studies, we have the Civil War project. Students are able to create their own country. There's the Reconstruction, World War I. There's a persuasive speech that students are doing for their midterm exam. And in the springtime, we're going to be creating, hopefully, a virtual history museum, again, using that augmented reality. So a lot of different projects in the ninth grade year. I've just reviewed the 4 courses: Global Science Inquiry, Design Development, English 9, and American Studies 1. I think now is also the appropriate time to just mention field trips. Field trips are an important part of Jasper. Every year, our students are going on different field trips, and we kind of start local, and then as the years go on, go a little bit further out. But our students do local trips to Rodale Institute, Kalmbach Park. They go to the Museum of Industrial History in Bethlehem. We've done a local History Emmaus tour in the past. Our sophomores go to Graver Arboretum. This year, our sophomores also went to New York City to the Intrepid and also the Times Square area. We have our juniors go to Philadelphia and New York City. In the past, our sophomores have also gone down to Washington, D.C., and our senior class has gone to Philadelphia as well. So we really like connecting what we're doing in the classroom, allowing the students to see that, for that to come to life by getting them to go on field trips. And this is something that we have budgeted for in the program. This is not a program, to be clear, this is not a program that students are going to be part of and then have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to go on field trips. This is something that we have budgeted for.